Hello and welcome. I'm Adam the Raging Modeler, and here's another Raging Showcase. And this time, there's a bit of a tutorial. Let's have a look. Okay, first up we have the Young Red Dragon by Marvelous Miniatures. I love painting dragons, and I love painting great big beasties. So this was a lot of fun. And it's the first time I really used contrast paints, and that's what I use on the Fire Breath. And there's a tutorial for that shortly. The base, I got a care package from a friend who shall remain nameless. I need a big old box of basing stuff, and thanks to him I was able to do a lot more interesting stuff with the base. And thanks to the Mortal Realms part work by Hachette, I was able to get some skulls for £7, which was wonderful. And so we can see them just there coming around, added to the base. Absolutely great model. Really enjoyed it, and little bits of detail kept popping out here every time I went over it. And I can't wait to do the green dragon, the black dragon, and the white dragon. But now, this is a little tutorial on how I did that Fire Breath. Okay, sorry for the change in terrible audio quality, much more worse than it normally is. We've been asked how we painted the Fire Dragon's Breath. So, we used 8 paints, 4 of which are the contrast, Apothecary White, Iyanden Yellow, Gryph-hound Orange, and Blood Angels Red. And over them, a very small dry brush of Scarlet White, Gitz Yellow, Light Orange, and Evil Sunz Scarlet. And I'll put the names of the paints in the description below. And this is how I did it. So I've left a little bit of clear still there, and that's for a reason. Okay, that's not all down to dragon mythology, in Fight the Dragons, which I quite like. So we wanted to give it that effect. Anyway, so we painted Apothecary White just a few millimetres down from there, about a centimetre or two, just down to there. And then when that was dry, well, almost dry, we did the yellow from halfway down the Apothecary White, which is the Iyanden Yellow contrast, down to about a centimetre and a half. Same thing with the Gryph-hound Orange, halfway through the yellow, down all the way. And then with the Blood Angels Red, same thing, just layering it on top of each other, just going over and over and over, just to help it blend a little bit more, and let some of that bit other colour below it show through as well, just so you can see the transition a bit smoother. And then once all that's dry, start dry brushing. So we dry brush the white scar over the white and a little bit of yellow. Then with the Gitz Yellow, we dry brush it just over the yellow and over the orange. And then with the Light Orange, we dry brush it over the orange and over a little bit of the red. And then over the red, just did the red. I left it there originally, but then I went through and gave it everything, apart from the white, a very, very light, soft dry brush of yellow, just to pick out the finer details on the corner. Just those little finer points to make it look like it's really alive. And that's all it is. And as I said, I'll put all these paints in the description below. Happy painting. Okay, next up we have the Dullahan. Yes, another Dullahan, but this time by Pathfinder Deep Cuts from WizKids. However, much like the last Dullahan we did by Grimroller Games, we've used a lot of the same paints. We've used Abaddon Black, Corvus Black, and Necromancer Cloak in many of the same spots. However, on this side for the armour, we actually used Iron Steel with some contrast Black Templar over it, and then a light dry brush of Iron Hands again, just to bring it back and give it that dark black metallic look. This was actually quite a hard miniature for me to paint, because I've never painted a horse before, and I did the classic schoolboy error, starting with a very black. So I started with Abaddon Black and laid it with a bit of Eshin Grey, some Dark Reaper, not necessarily in that order, and it just wasn't coming together. So we did a blue wash, give it a bit of a blue tint, and it just wasn't happening. So 2 washes of Nun Oil later, I got this look, and I'm pretty happy with it. First time painting a horse, I gotta say, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not too bad at all. And then for the weathering, we did the same thing as we did on the previous one. A bit of Steel Legion Drab dry brush around the hooves, and a bit of wash of Agrax Earth shade, just to blend it together a little bit. We tried some lighting on the eyes to give it that glow effect. It's kind of worked, but with the red on black it takes a fair while, and I didn't want to overdo it, but still, nevertheless, I'm pretty happy with this, and it's a good mini. I'm tempted to get another one and actually make a diorama out of it, so the horse is actually on a rock or something, but we'll see what happens. But this was a lot of fun. And here we have a latecomer to the party, Arcana and the Cruel from the Arcana and Dark Order set by Gale Force 9. Now, last month we did his Dark Order, and he was meant to be part of that, and unfortunately, he got base coated, he got washed, and he started to get layered. However, unfortunately, when we came to do the chest detail, it was such a shallow detail that I managed to clog it up like a complete idiot. So I got really annoyed and I put him in a Dettol bath to strip the paint. And once he came out of the bath, he sat on my shelf for a couple of weeks. Just sat there in bare resin because I had enough of it. So after Krull and Turgor last month, and now I finished the dragon, I looked at him and started to paint him again, and the first thing I did was that chest emblem, and then I was happy with it, and I kept adding bits and doing bits and doing bits, and I was very afraid that I was going to clog it up again, because at this point of doing, I keep touching it up, it's been pretty much layered and highlighted. You know, everything was pretty much done. I just couldn't stop trying to get it right, but I'm glad I kept going, because now as you can see, when he comes around again in a second, the emblem looks really good. And we used some Tesseract glow on the hand of Vecna, and we used the zombie skin paint app by Citadel to get Vecna's hand. And I think all the colours are really nicely together. It's such a beautiful mould. The only issue I have with the mould itself is that it's actually one piece. It doesn't attach to the base. If it could come off the base, it'd be so much more easier to paint the base, but can't have everything. I do wish the chest emblem was raised and not a sunken detail, but still, we got there in the end, and I'm very happy with this. And now, here he is with his friends. And here we are, the Dark Order with Arcana himself, Torgor Steelfist, Arcana the Cruel, and Krull the Turtle. Great little set. If you do get this set, your mileage may vary because it is resin and there can be issues with molds and stuff like that. Hopefully if you get it, your Arcana will have a better, more defined chest detail, which won't be a shallow, but really good set of minis. Definitely recommend getting these. Lots of fun to paint and really nicely detailed. Okay, I think that's about it for this month. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and found it informative, and if you'd like me to do more of that type of thing, let me know in the comments below. I am also looking at doing a Patreon. I do have it planned out. It's all online, but I've just not launched it yet. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in having a look at. But for now, I'll be seeing you.